What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl Tanisha coming to you again. How are you doing? Good. I'm glad. I really am coming to you on this good Saturday with snow outside in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know who ordered snow, but yeah, y'all should have kept that. Anyway, so today I just want to get on here. You know how I just come on and I just be liking to talk about things. So today I'm gonna come with 10 questions. It's only 10, but I think they're the most important 10 questions that you need to ask of your potential mate prior to getting married. Right? So many people just jump into marriage. Sex is good, financial reasons because they think he's going to save me. A lot of different reasons why people just jump into marriage. So I wanted to at least equip you with about 10 questions that you should be asking before you even get married, right? Because from what I've experienced, not my personal marriage when I was married, but other people's marriages, a lot of these points are getting ready to be the reason why some people get divorced. They're the reason why some people fight. They're the reason why some people don't even like their spouse. So I want to run these by you so you can run them by the person who you want to marry one day. Fair enough? All right, let's get into it. One of the questions I think you should be asking the person that you're wanting to marry potentially is, how many kids do you want to have? If you want 5 and he wants 2, or you want 7 and he only wants 1, and he already has that child from a previous relationship, then you're setting yourself up for some disappointment, right? I don't know if you ever heard of Jeannie Mai, but that was one of the reasons why she's on The Real. I think one of the reasons why her and her husband got a divorce is because he wanted children and she didn't. But they only found this out after 10 years. So I don't know if they talked about that prior to. Now, granted, things can change. I'm aware of that. But yeah, that's a big thing for you to say, yeah, I don't want kids. But all of a sudden, oh, yeah, by the way, I want kids. And I don't know if that was just his way of, picking something that he knew would kind of push her out the door. Who knows? Anyway, so you want to also discuss the things about, like, what is your belief system when it comes to raising your children? Like, do you believe they should get spankings? Do you believe they should only have punishments? Do you believe in we should give them money or they should earn money? Or, just different. What's your core belief system when it comes to children? Do children have to do chores? And, do you feel like children should have say-so in what goes on with them? Or the parents really should be the person who indicates what all should be going on? You need to have some kind of understanding about how we're going to raise these kids if we ever have kids. Because that too can be a point of contention. If one parent is more carefree and the other parent is like, you know what, they can't do anything unless I tell them that they can do it. Matter of fact, they better not breathe too loud because I didn't tell them that they could. Then you want to kind of be mindful of this. So how are we going to raise these kids that we have, and how many do we want to have? And, am I going to be on birth control? Or are we going to, you know what I mean? These are things that people need to talk about. Am I going to be on birth control? Are you going to wear condoms? It's all kind of stuff going on that we need to know, like, how we're going to handle this thing. Because bringing a child can change your entire life and your entire marriage. All right, so another one that I hear a lot of married couples complain about is, who's going to do the chores? Who's washing dishes? Who's washing clothes? Who's vacuuming, sweeping, cleaning bathrooms? Are you going to be picking up after him? Are you going to be picking up after her? Do you like a fairly clean house? Are you, you just don't care, as long as eventually sometimes it gets up off the floor? These are things that you want to kind of ask and pay attention to. So all of these things are things that you will actually ask your partner, but at the same time, keep your eyes open, because these are things that you'll be paying attention to in your dating phase or in your engagement phase. If they, are hoarders before, they're going to be hoarders after. If they're not clean before, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be too clean afterwards. So if that's an important thing for you, then you want to take that thing into consideration and see if you all can resolve it prior to getting married. If they are like, they just don't keep a clean house, well, we need to resolve one or two things. Either you're going to start cleaning better, or two, we're going to have to hire a maid to help you because clearly your cleaning ability, yeah. So those are some things that should really, now it sounds frivolous, but it's some people who are ready to just throw in the towel, the bed sheet, the rug, because of how clean the other individual is or is not. Number 3, how will we share money? Is my money and your money, or is your money our money and my money our money? Are we going to have separate accounts? Are we going to have the same account? Are we going to have just a house account? Who's going to be responsible for paying the bills? Am I paying the bills? Am I tracking what goes in and what comes out? Are you going to be bringing your check home to me? Or is it going to be directly deposited to an account where I have access to and I can see what we have available to pay bills? What about, I spend. I might want to spend a lot, but you're more frugal. So we have to discuss how we're going to curb those spending habits and how we're going to just make sure that we're on the same page when it comes to spending. And what about debt? My credit, your credit. How are we going to manage that? Are you going to make an effort to get your credit in a better position prior to us getting married? So when we get married, we can, both be on mortgages and car loans and things of that nature. What are you going to do to better position yourself credit-wise and debt-wise? How much debt do you have? I only have $10,000 worth of student loans. You may have $100,000 worth of student loans. And so a bigger portion of my income will go to payment of those student loans than a bigger portion of your income. So those are things that we need to talk about before we get married. Where do you want to live? Where we live now, is that where you want to stay? Are there some places that you're just like, I do not want to go? Like me personally, I would not ever want to live in New York. Like, nah, I'm okay. I wouldn't want to live in New York. So like, is that a place that you're thinking about that you would want to move in the future? Or, where are some places that are kind of off limits that we are already saying, hey, I'm not going there. If you go, we can go for vacation, but I'm not going to live, sir, ma'am. I'm not moving to Alaska. Sorry. I don't care if the property value is low. I'm not moving there. I don't want to go to Oregon. Nothing against any of these places. I just don't want to be there. Talk about those things. Do we want to buy a house? Do we want to rent? What do we want to do? This is a big one. Relationship with family and in-laws. Now, you know as well as I know, in-laws can be a problem. Family can be a problem. In a marriage, how are you going to handle that? If you're the husband and your mother is always, trying to see what y'all are doing, or, just trying to be in your relationship too much, how are you as the man going to handle that? Are you strong enough to tell your mom, hey, mom, I'm married now. Your input is not needed. In a nice, respectful way, you would say it. Ma'am, sis, are you able to tell your sisters and cousins and aunts and whoever else that, this is our relationship. I don't want, you don't have to come over here and beat him up for what we go through. Are you able to set your family straight if they get out of line? Because ultimately, when a marriage occurs, that he marries, or the person marries you, but they also marry your family. But there are boundaries and lines that family should not cross when it comes to a married couple. There's some things that those married couples need to work out, and you constantly trying to cross a line or bypass a border can hinder a married couple more than help it. So be mindful of that. How is this person going to handle? Does this person have an issue confronting things that are not? Do they have some kind of empathy for how you feel? Can they understand how you feel? When you share with them things about what you feel, what's their response? You just blowing it out of proportion. Or it's not really that. How do they address the things that you feel? That is important, because you don't want to be in a relationship where all throughout the relationship you have to explain how you feel, why you feel this way, and then after you get done doing all that, the person didn't understand why you felt that way anyway. They feel no empathy for why you feel what you feel. And I'm not saying use your emotions to manipulate the man or the woman, but your partner should be able to say, you know what, I understand how you could be upset because, the lady acknowledged me when she spoke, but she didn't acknowledge you. You don't want him to be like, well, that's just sis. She didn't mean anything by it. Well, first of all, you don't know if she meant anything by it. But second of all, you should at least try to understand why your wife would feel, or that, goodness gracious, muffler. You should at least understand why your wife would feel some kind of way in that situation, if that makes sense. So family and relationships is very important. Determine now how you're going to handle those things. Sex and intimacy. How often do you want to partake in festivities? What type of festivities do you like to partake in? I don't want to get too graphic, but some people enjoy certain types of festivities, I call them festivities, more than other types of festivities. Some people are like, ew, I'm not doing that type of to certain festivities. So you need to find these things out. Talk these things out. Like with your partner. So what do you do and what don't you do? What do you feel comfortable doing and what don't you feel comfortable doing? How often do you feel like you need to partake in festivities? Is it once a week? Twice a week? Every day? Because it's like, you married now. When he or she wants to partake in festivities, you at least need to be, willing. Unless there's something wrong, or not wrong, but like you might be on your menstrual, or, you really aren't feeling well, and not just using it as an excuse. No manipulating one another with, I'm not going to give it to you since, I couldn't get that new dress, so I'm not going to give you none tonight. No, we're not going to manipulate our spouse with that, right? Because then it cheapens it when it should be an awesome experience. And it is. When you're married. Well, when you're not married too, but I'm just saying. We're going to do this in the confines of marriage. That's what we're talking about. All right, so church and spirituality. I believe in God. You don't. I have faith in God. You don't. I like going to church. You don't. If I have to poke and push and prod you to engage in certain things spiritually, at some point that's going to become tiring. If you don't want to go to church, I don't want to have to push you to go to church, but it's a good idea that a family unit should go to the same house of worship, whatever that worship would be. And, if you come into a relationship already being on fire for God, it's not fair to you or God for whoever you're dealing with to kind of quench that fire. You no longer want to go to church. You don't pray like you used to. You don't do the things that you used to do spiritually. And ultimately, that's going to have an impact on you as an individual. So you want to make sure that y'all are kind of on the same page when it comes to church and spirituality. When you get married, is he going to want you to leave your church? Where you've built a lot of good relationships? Or is he going to want to come and be a member of your church? Or you be a member of, hey, how are we going to work this out? See, people don't think about these things until the day. And by that time, it's just like, hey, you already Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. How are we going to handle that? Are we going to read the Bible together, or read our book of worship together? Our prayer, are we going to pray together? Are we going to have Bible studies or, studies of our religion together as a family, individually. How are we going to handle that? Right? Fighting. How are we going to handle these fights? Like, how have you handled fights in the past? Are you the kind that will sit down and discuss it like adults? Or are you the kind who throws things and yells and screams and hollers and the police end up showing up at the end of the night? Or are you the person who just gets cold and dry and doesn't say anything and just, shuts down basically? What kind of person are you when it comes to fights or when it comes to heated discussions? I won't say fights, but heated discussions, disagreements. How do you handle disagreements? And again, these are things that you want to ask, but these are also things that you want to watch. How does this person handle stress and situations that aren't necessarily the best? Watch these things. And even though they can tell you whatever they want to these questions, it's a good idea to just go ahead and just watch. Ask them, are there any pet peeves? Are there some things that you don't like? Like, say, for instance, me. One of my pet peeves is if we have slept together as husband and wife, in the morning, I don't want you to get up and just be all in my face with your breath. I can't stand no stinking breath. I can't stand. I just feel like all the bacteria in your mouth is landing on me when you're talking to me. I don't like stinking breath. I don't like body odor at all, really. And I know sometimes, hey, everybody has their day. But like stinky feet, stinky body parts, nah, I'm okay. It's too much soap and water in there for you to be playing with me right now. So I'm going to need you to go get it together. A pet peeve. I don't really like anybody hollering at me. Like, don't holler at me. Don't holler at me. Period. Let's have a discussion, but don't holler at me. Right? What's some other things I don't like? I don't like leaving things unresolved to where it, again, will become a problem in the future. Like, I try to make some kind of resolution for a problem in the moment that we're having the problem, or soon, around when we're having the problem. Like, if we had this problem in January, why are we still talking about it in March? We should have solved that back in January, at least early February. Why are we still talking about it in March? There should be some kind of resolution to all of these problems that we're having. Keep that in mind. Pet peeves. What are your pet peeves? What don't you like? Do you not like people who talk loud? You don't like it when people talk loud, or fellas, she got to keep her toes done all the time, or you don't like when she doesn't wear heels. Whatever the situation, whatever these pet peeves may be, like pet peeves. I'm not talking about just being picky. I'm talking about like these are like almost like some deal breakers. Like if you keep coming to me and your breath stink, we gonna have a problem. Like, get in there and hit that tongue, something. Because I'm going to tell you about yourself. I don't like being up under. If I want to cuddle up under you, I want to cuddle up under you smelling good. I don't want to cuddle up under you and you smelling like, why? That's what you smell like, why? Why are you doing this to all the people who are around you, right? Anyway. So find out what the pet peeves are of this other individual. Maybe they don't like coming home to dirty dishes in the sink. That may bother them. They don't like clothes on the floor, or they don't like there's some pet peeves. Find out what your partner's pet peeves are. Right? This might be more than 10. Might be around 12. Are you in this to win this? So in other words, is divorce an option for you? Like, do you see yourself divorcing at this point? Like, I've divorced once, and that was when I was younger, and so I didn't really understand marriage, didn't understand divorce, didn't understand none of it, to be honest with you. So now I think I have a better understanding. So the next time that I get married, like, divorce is not going to be an option over like the small stuff. Now, you go out there and you cheat, and yeah, I'm gonna get rid of you. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of you. Um, Abusive, like hitting me. I'm gonna kick your butt, and then I'm gonna divorce you. Like, don't put your hand on me. Do not put your hand on me. Like, it's too many other ways you can use your hand when it comes to me, other than you just do not, sir. Please don't. Um, but other than that, we can work through a lot of other stuff, I feel like. So divorce is not an option for me. Like, yeah, divorce is not something that I'm just gonna just be throwing around like, oh yeah, I get rid of you. Nah. I'm trying to be in it for the long haul. I'm trying to be in it for the long haul. That's not a song. I just made it up. Anyway, last but not least, last but not least, ask your person, where do you see us in the next 10 years? Like, what do you see us accomplishing together? Like, is there a vision or a goal that you have for our family? And that's a good question, actually, because that now says to that person that you're forward thinking. Like, we should be progressing towards growth. We should be progressing towards, a goal, a family goal, I guess, to say. Are we wanting to be retired? Are we wanting to be financially free? Like, what do we want to be? Who do we want to be 10 years from now? Do we want to be traveling, independently, wealthy? What do we want? Like, what's our goal? Or do we just want to both be going to work every single day, coming home, eating dinner, putting the kids to bed, and then starting it all over again for the next 10, 15 years of our life? See, a lot of people get caught up in the monotony of life. And, I understand most of life is monotonous. You get up, you wash your face, take a shower, get ready for your day. But there are things that you can do to break up the monotony. Is the person who you marry boring? And you don't like boring. I don't like boring. Like, let's go do something. Let's go be spontaneous. Let's go try something new. Like the same thing every single day, month after month, year after year. Nah, we're going to let's spice it up. Put some paprika on it, some cayenne or something. Some cayenne or something, because, yeah, let's just do that. So I'm thinking these are some great questions and things to consider prior. Did I need this piece of paper? Okay. Prior to getting married. 10 great questions to ask your spouse. Potential spouse. 10 plus questions to kind of just consider ahead of time. Like, I know we love each other. I know we want to be together. But are there some things that we kind of need to clean up, straighten up, tighten up before we just say, all right, we're all in? Think about these things. You don't want to cause more stress in your marriage than has to be, right? So I hope this has been some good information. I hope this has helped you. I am getting ready to go take a nap. I just did a conference or a workshop this morning, and I'm tired. And I just wanted to come home and put out a video as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take a nap. And then later on, I'm going to wake up and go get some stuff for some other things I got going on tomorrow. All right, guys. So, I love you. Giving you a big old hug from afar and a little bit of advice. And until next time, bye.